lift up. You gotta lift up.
We got a flat top of it.
Yeah, there's a flat topper.
Oh, you gotta do this.
Yeah. Up against the left. Yeah. There we go.
They're never ever the same.
Just hit start or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now print or whatever. Start print.
Oh, there's a line under this button that says, trying to tell you something I got. You got a copy?
I got a copy. Yeah. Stand up, Terry.
Oh, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. You got the new one, please. This one we don't have to talk about. It was discussed later.
No, yeah, well, anything's better when I had
Scott.
Hello. We're ready.
Okay.
Yep, thanks. And this is the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Terry, second by Bill to approve the minutes agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you guys? Good.
Chili. But then I guess it is just about December in Iowa.
It is December. Well, it's close to December.
It's not near as chilly as Southern Iowa.
An appointment for the.
It's too quick, too early.
German, how many inches?
No, you're sound.
I don't know. I just saw bus kittywampus in the interstate blocked.
Yeah. My brother-in-law was coming back from, we went on vacation to California, and they had two vehicles, and Dwayne Cooper, and they sent a Thanksgiving Day, I think it was, they sent a picture, and they were going 26 mile an hour down I-80 in Nebraska.
And that's one state you want to hurry through. You don't want to die.
Yeah, no, yeah, you don't want to really get
You're up.
Actually, only 2 work days since I saw you last, so I don't have anything to discuss, I guess.
You were able to avoid the storm.
Yeah, our guys got full Thanksgiving holiday, so that was really nice.
Yeah.
Not like other parts of the Midwest getting some weather, but successfully avoided it here. Yeah.
You guys got anything for Scott? I don't.
No.
Well, I guess you didn't have to come up.
Well, I got a couple of.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll go on to number 3. DOT agreement.
Yep, so this is a funding agreement with the Iowa DOT to provide swap funding for repaving of A16 between Scarville and the Thompson corner, R34 going south. The agreement provides $1.2 million for a project estimated at $1.85 million. That estimate's always moving, but 65 to 80% funding or so. The rest would come from our farm to market account. This project's scheduled to bid in about a year and the construction to follow in 2020.
Straightforward. I'll make a motion to approve the Iowa DOT agreement for STG federal aid swap funding.
I'll second it. Motion by Terry, seconded by Bill to approve the DOT agreement for federal aid swap funding for STBG swap County 95, 71 FG 95. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'll take a signature from you and then Carla on there. And
Oops.
What was STPG?
Surface Transportation Block Grant.
Oh, it's supposed to be B. I knew there was STBG.
TBG.
So it's B.
Doesn't it say B?
No, it says P.
Pass grant?
Oh, well, it says SCPG in the project number. Yeah.
Okay.
Spelling error, but yep, Surface Transportation Block Grants, just the federal aid
I thought
funding.
they had a new one.
Yeah. Federal aid funding renamed for the swap, I guess.
Alright.
So, yep.
All right, moving on. Easement for utility for EDF.
Okay. This is so if you remember, it's been a year or better ago with ITC, we developed an agreement to protect the easements of the drainage districts for utility lines. We executed that agreement with ITC. At that time, this is the same type of agreement with EDF for the wind turbine project up in Buffalo, Lincoln Township. We're still preliminary in the stages, so I don't have construction plans, but what I do have with the permit is a exhibit that shows all of the proposed crossings where their collection lines cross our drainage tiles and ditches. So this identifies all those points, and then when they get closer to construction, we'll have the construction plans and exhibits that show exactly what they're planning to do at those locations, and I'll review those and make sure that they are appropriate. If there's too much to highlight, we have 46 proposed crossings, so each of those districts or laterals or however they're split up will receive a $1,000 fee into those drainage funds to cover things like, the cost of inspection and whatever might happen with the easements, recording this document. Mainly, I would say inspections, that kind of thing, keeping an eye on the construction. And then if we have to then, remedy any problems with the tiles or anything like that, this agreement kind of lays out the process. Gone over this with Chris, and she kind of looked through and made sure everything was in order for the districts and the laterals and everything, and about where the funds would go when we received them. What questions do you have?
One that popped into my mind when you talk about it is, we haven't talked about this, probably too late, but it might be advantageous to us to have a performance bond with them as far as the drainage tile.
Well, we do have in the road agreement a performance bond stipulation, and we will be receiving that through that.
Okay.
And
Yep.
about the language,
We
but
can collect performance bond through the benefit of the drainage district. Is that possible?
yeah, I'll look into that, see if it's perfectly written that way.
And that should be extended out for probably at least 3 years.
I believe
I don't know if you can do that.
the performance bond gets reduced after their construction work is done. The road use agreement says they'll fix tile for up to 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And then at that point, it doesn't necessarily relieve their obligation if it's their fault. Just kind of set the limit so they don't get all kinds of faulty claims.
Yeah.
So we're
Then putting in fiber, we were getting claims 4 years afterwards. And legitimate claims.
still are.
Yeah.
And nothing's to say that you must fix it other than, well, if it's WCTA's fault or whoever the utility is, then their responsibility to fix it. So they've been great about that. So.
Okay. So you want this approved, correct?
Yep, I'll ask for a motion to approve the easement.
To approve the easement for utility accommodation for underground electrical collection system by EDF Renewables.
I'll second it.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Terry to approve the easement bond as stated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And I'll take a signature from you, Mike, and then Carla, and I should do it.
Okay. Conservation board member for us. Do we have somebody?
I did not get a name yet.
I mean,
I guess we'll have to try
I
it.
know the ex-board member recommended somebody. One that's been rather vocal with his disapproval of the compensation board improvement raises. Maybe he should get on the board. Learn what it's all about.
I don't even know if we need one because it comes down to us anyway. So, I mean, but I suppose by law we have.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I asked a couple people that didn't feel like they wanted to take the guy.
Yeah,
Did you talk to this guy?
No, I don't even know him.
Oh, okay.
And,
We'll table it.
Yeah, I would like to have like 2 or 3 people to choose from next week if we can.
Okay.
the other ones I talked to were not excited.
No.
It's a thankless job.
Yeah. Public health board member, new one.
Morning, Julie.
Good morning. You guys got your letter from Dr. Keller.
Yeah.
So it'll be replacing her. You guys have to find a director. It has to be a physician.
That's gonna be done.
Has to be a licensed physician. Excuse me, a physician in Iowa.
PA?
No,
No.
cannot be a PA. Cannot be a nurse practitioner. I talked to.
2 or 3 that live in the home county.
It doesn't have to be in the county. It can be in the state of Iowa.
All in the state of Iowa.
Yep. Here's the guidelines. Aaron told me to run these guys off for you.
It'd be nice if they served in the county.
Right. And usually the meetings go around that doctor's schedule, so the meetings will probably change then if they're not available because Dr. Keller's day off was Friday. So,
What's the deal?
what's the what?
What's the deal?
Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. Oh, is that what they were called way back when? If you Google it, it's the same as the MD. Physician.
Dr. Osterkamp, is that?
Yep, she can be it.
Interesting.
Yep. Her name was thrown around.
Who's that?
Dr. Osterkamp?
Someone has to ask her.
About, I can't think of her first name. Peters, yeah.
She did it for a really long time. She would be good. I just don't know if she'd do it again.
Oh, she's already been there.
Carlson used to do it. I would imagine, because of budgeting, it'd be nice to have the replacement. So, one is Dr.
Keller's
Keller's last day.
December 31st.
Okay, so
She's still seeing patients till April, but she's done the 31st on the board.
So how do we want to proceed with this? We want personally contact them, or
Is this something that you would like to maybe take charge of to give?
That's your guys'.
I know it is, but a recommendation.
But yeah, I don't know any of these.
Or else.
I mean, I don't know any of the doctors, and I can call them, I guess, and talk to them, and I can if you would like me to.
You know.
Allison knows Allison, yeah, right, and Allison knows Dr. Peters,
Okay.
and I just know Dr. Osterkamp from just filing doctor's orders back and forth. And we can,
Would you do that?
I can do that.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want me to contact Dr. Carlson too. I mean, it's totally up to you guys. If you want me to contact all three of them,
I guess you could start with one of them, and if it's
Just
a dead
go
end
right
street, then go to the next one.
and go on down the line. Okay.
That would be the one.
Who do you guys want me to start with?
Start with that.
I think you should recommend to us.
I think
That's
Osterkamp, since she hasn't served, yeah,
Okay.
start with that one.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, that'll be updated. Okay. Back to purchase of lease equipment for Sheriff's Department. Got an email. I think a lot of this was discussed last week. Are there any points that the board members want to bring up, or? I really don't.
Did you get the email? And,
Excuse me, but I thought this was covered last week.
well, no, most of it was, and I put in there at the top that a lot of this was covered last week. People that talked to me about it evidently didn't see the meeting, and not all of it was covered. I mean, I thought of a couple of the questions myself, and then by the time we got down, said and done, I forgot to ask you. Like the one, is NGT, if they're not going to be servicing the computers anymore, are they going to be charging us less, or are they doing less, or?
They won't be charging us less, and I don't know that they'll be doing less,
Are they going to be doing like the maintenance for this other company, or?
they'll be on call with the other company to assist them. It's kind of like Eric, when we broke off from him, he didn't take a cut in pay. His pay stayed the same, and that's kind of where we're at.
Well, but if this is a outside entity in a sense, it's if they're doing less, they should be charging us less. I mean, there is a valid point to that.
Well, maybe we can have that discussion with them. Maybe they will back off a little bit on it.
Well, but if they're the ones providing the service for the company, and the company just pays for it.
Well, and again, I'm not 100% sure on that, but they are the in-county IT people.
They're the ones that are going to first look at the.
They'll have to be in contact with Caltech also to get them into the system or whatever.
I don't know that they'll be doing less.
Right. They'll still be in charge of the server and stuff like that, and where our videos download.
Do we have any idea what the buyout of the equipment's going to be at the end?
They don't have provisions for buyout because nobody's done it in the past. Everybody keeps
that question
because it gets outdated.
Because it's outdated and it's time. The life expectancy.
Did you say that the Iowa State Patrol, they use the
Yep.
same?
And this is all state bid equipment, so
Yeah.
state bid labor, state bid cameras, state bid computers.
So the vetting price wise has been done at that level already, which is what I assumed last week.
Right. Yep.
So
Well, the one thing I want to make sure is we get quality equipment that we can trust.
Yep.
I would guess at the state, and then you said the city went with it also.
Yep, Hancock County went with it. There's a number of people that have gone with the same system and with the same company, with Caltech.
And then, like it's gonna be paid for with the money, revenue from the jail. And then if the revenue from the jail, say for whatever reason, the population goes down, what's the plan for that?
Well, the population size is going to fluctuate in the jail, and which is why we don't want to use everything at one time. We want to be able to hang on to some money, have a reserve, so to speak, and that would see us through a bad time. But it's a yearly lease, so there's 12 months. And, right now, we're averaging an income of about $20,000 a month. So if we drop to $10,000 a month, we'd still be ahead. We'd be going backwards, but our reserve would still be ahead. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just pulling that 10,000 out of the air, but the 20,000 income is a hard firm number.
Where they're taking the money out of can only be used for certain things anyway.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things that it can be used for. So it's not technically taxpayer dollars, it's jail money.
You don't have to convince me. There's just a few other people that have to be convinced.
I still think we should look at it as a cost.
Well, there's no such thing as free money. I understand that. I do understand that. But the important thing is, and like Carla's pointed out, it's not coming out of the tax rolls, and that's very important to me.
I agree with that.
100% is coming out of the jail fund?
Well, the small portion will be step money, which is money that they work overtime for to get stuff like this.
And what percentage of the jail revenues can be used for paying off bond? Is there any of it?
The jail keeps 60%, the general fund gets 40%.
And you're not touching it 40%.
Other than to bring a check up here to Julie, that's it.
Other
than to bring a check up here to Julie, that's it.
Okay. Any other discussion on?
I guess I don't think I'd probably be doing my job of what you guys are asking me to do if I didn't just, as far as the support fee, I guess it just made me pause when I looked at that, because it feels like kind of double insuring with NGT and with them, and I know they'll replace the equipment, included on that, but for the same amount of money, you could buy an extra laptop or two as spares, or an extra body camera or two as spares, and still be money ahead, aside from the support thing. And I guess
how do we do that?
Well, there's
for the same cost, I'm saying.
Well, like on the body camera part, which was like $18,000, if I'm not wrong, there's like a $6,000 some support fee over the duration of the lease, and the cameras are only about $1,000 a piece. So, you could buy like 5-6 more body cameras for that amount, and if they break or whatever, and now there's support in there, so that would be answering questions or helping solve.
They might be fungible, where they put it all together, and that support fee is probably covering some of the. Or can you actually buy a body cam for $1,000? Have you checked that out?
Yeah, I mean, the equipment that's on there, if you give them cash, they'll sell it to you. It's not.
No, I know that. Have you checked to see if that support fee is also supporting some of the cost of that camera?
It's probably supporting the financing of the lease portion of it.
It's supporting all the hardware and stuff that goes with the body camera. The dock that's back at the sheriff's office, if it doesn't talk right to the rest of the system and everything.
What would be your alternative?
Have NGT do it like they're already paying for it.
And do they have a reputable company that I mean, there's gotta be a reason that Hancock, or city, the state has gone with these guys.
Well, Caltech does a great job,
Okay.
and they did a great job 5 years ago when we worked together and put the laptops in the vehicles right now. I don't have an issue with, I think their equipment needs replaced. I think it's old. I know that there has been problems for years on the cameras and things, and I don't, the equipment price is good. I'm questioning the support fee that goes along with it.
Just because we also have NGT.
Well, yeah,
Is
like I
that
said,
part of it?
it feels like,
Yeah.
and it's not, and I don't have a vendetta against NGT.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, but like I said, it feels like having double insurance.
Right.
Because NGT is supposed to have unlimited support, and these guys are supposed to have unlimited support. And throughout that, it's a $200,000 deal, essentially, and there's about $60,000 of support fees in there.
The contract also, if anything was wrong with any of the cameras, they replace it.
Yeah. They said they would be up here within 24 hours and replace, if it needed to be
And you
replaced,
will
it'd be
support that way as far as now, or with the laptops also?
Yeah, laptops, cameras, everything.
It's
There's like 32, we're looking at body cameras, we're looking at car cameras, and when I say car cameras, we're looking at the cameras that go to the outside to the traffic stop. There's also cameras back into the passenger area where the bad guys are at. We're talking about the computer system. There's like 32 pieces of equipment, and that's just the visible equipment that we know how to run. The rest of the stuff is stuff that I don't know anything about.
I mean,
It works, but I don't know how to make it work.
Okay, here's the bottom line. Are you alluding to that we might be able to get this done cheaper with the same quality?
Well, you could buy the same exact equipment outright right now for $60,000 less, and then have NGT support it, which you're already paying for.
they can support it in a sense, but they can't replace it. That can only come
Which is
from the
why
company,
I said,
would guess.
if you buy an extra camera, an extra laptop, there's one sitting here in the building, and as soon as NGT or somebody can get here, they can put it in, and it's there. And if I would do it all again from 5 years ago, that's what I would have done, is bought an extra laptop so that we had one. Because at that point when I was supporting, we needed to send something in for warranty once or twice, and then that was taken out of service during that time, which this is meeting.
So is NGT supporting the system now? Do we have?
The system they have right now, they are supporting. Which, when you were our IT guy, you were calling Caltech for support.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't.
Caltech is the
Occasionally
go-to
there would be a
people.
charge.
Yeah, Caltech is a good.
Caltech is the go-to people for the IT guys because they don't deal. Caltech deals with this stuff. I mean, across the state of Iowa, Minnesota, they deal with this stuff all the time.
Yep.
If you get a problem, they know what it is. They don't have to Google it or whatever to try and figure it out.
But if that's the case, if it's $60,000 savings, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, we looked at all those things,
Okay.
as did other people, and we feel that based on the fact that we're buying it for a period of years, it's brand new equipment, so it should be good for the first year or two, whatever, or at least you hope it will be. But if something goes wrong, you call them up, they're there within, and they guaranteed within 24 hours they'll have a new piece of equipment or the equipment fixed. We don't get that we didn't get it with Eric, we don't get it with NGT. That's not to say they're not doing a good job, but that's not their area of expertise.
So once the equipment's out of warranty, and something goes wrong with it, say we put the spare one in, if we had to went that route, then that one that is bad, then we have to repurchase that again. And
To replace it to make another spare.
yeah. And how would that come out in the expense, the cost comparison? Because we would be replacing stuff on our own as it went bad, which it obviously goes bad.
And then the other thing is, you know, every 5 or 6 years, you're paying this huge amount of money again for the next equipment, you know, whereas if we can keep this going,
You
just
know
roll
what
from
your
year to year to
expenses
year.
are gonna be from year to
Exactly.
year.
Right.
And you know what, we pay service for we pay service for Tyler, we pay
Oh, I-
service for
Yeah.
pictometry, we pay service. So, I mean, it's not like you can support that either. I mean,
Well, they wouldn't let us use the software if we didn't pay the
so
license.
everything that we do has support costs.
So I've got a question about incidentals, like say an officer ends up in an accident or ends up in or some kind of a skirmish or something, and the camera gets damaged, you know, just physical damage to it. Is that covered under the lease?
What they told me initially, and I'm going to defer this to Mike, but at first what I'm going to tell you is they told me if you have a piece of it, they'll replace it. If it's gone, if the officer's running through a field or something like that, and we did have that happen to us a couple of years ago, and his body camera bounced off and we never found any part of it, that's on us. But if there's a piece of it, if your camera gets run over or damaged in a fight or whatever the case might be, it's replaced. Am I correct in that one?
Yeah.
Insurance would probably come into play in some of
I
that.
was gonna say, we would have insurance for
Right.
that, but
If he was running through a field?
I would think so. I mean,
Yeah,
when your property is on yourself,
Deductible would probably,
yeah,
cameras are what, $1,000?
Roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good equipment. I think it's needed. You know, I just wanted to bring that up. It just seemed expensive.
Well, that's what we pay for, so.
With the service,
and I had a couple people, believe it or not, there are people that watch us on YouTube. And, approach me, you know, with questions, you know, can we afford this and all that. And then I'm of a personal opinion that we can't not afford it as far as, because it's for the safety, the equipment, your lives can rely on this equipment. We need it to be, and even, you know, court too. I mean, if you've got it on camera, it's pretty easy to prove your point.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get down where the camera's not working right, then it's the he said, she said.
Yep.
And I don't know why they always want to believe the ones that are a little suspect. The lawyers sure like to defend them.
So your concern is the double up of support fees?
yeah. I mean, you know, all the equipment can be purchased aside from that $60,000, and it can be installed and used aside from that $60,000. That's just literally once it's installed, up and running, support slash. I mean, it's a lease, so it's finance. There's got to be some finance fees in there. It's just a big lump sum. You know, maybe in certain situations it's a good deal. I guess, you know, I can't completely make that call, but like I said, to me it seems expensive. If it was my decision, I would be looking at ways to avoid that fee and buy a spare piece of equipment. Then you're actually getting something for your money. If there's no problems with it, which I'm sure there'll be problems, but is there going to be, you know, $60,000 worth of problems over the course of however many years? You know, it's an insurance policy is the way I would look at it. And do you buy the extended warranty on your TV or whatever else when you get it, or do you just buy a new one when it goes out?
This isn't quite the same.
No, it's not quite, but like I said, buy one, put it on the shelf, it's right there.
But then you still got to pay somebody to put it back
Every,
in the vehicle and swap it out.
Yes.
every
But
5
what's that,
years.
$1,000 fee, you know, one time when you know you need it, rather than just paying for it if it happens to happen. That's how my brain works.
Well, then it sounds like they have 100% confidence, these guys, that it'll be taken care of within 24 hours with Caltech. Do you have that same confidence for yourself at NGT?
Well, it's not. I'm not the person.
Okay, well, NGT.
I can't say what their relationship has been because I haven't been involved in that. But
So currently we have body cams, right?
Yes.
And Well, do we have car cam?
Yes.
Okay, so we're replacing all of it
They all,
in the computers.
were at end of life about 5 years ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and the body cams, their average life is like 5 years. No,
They 3 to 4 years,
3
possibly.
to 4 years, and these guys are replacing them
At 3.
at 3 years.
Yep.
And the computers, the laptops, the life was
About 5 years.
about 5 years. Yeah, that was what was 5 years. And those are going to be replaced after 5 years because everything gets outdated.
Mm-hmm.
So in a theory, they're going to be maintenizing with. Do we therefore get, if we have to replace them after the end of the 5 years, do we get charged for that, or is that part of the service fee?
It's roughly a $35,000 a year cost for this ship.
Yeah, it's like buying a new car every year.
Yeah.
You got expenses every year, and that's what we'd like to roll it into, is to an every year expense as opposed to a huge expense every 5 years. You know, we could do the same thing with our cars. We could just buy 6 or 7 cars all at one time, or we could do it over every year, which is what we're doing, which to me is the smarter move.
Spread it out.
Cars?
What's that?
Leasing your cars?
No.
You're spreading the cost out, and knowing about what it's going to cost you every year is easier to
It's
budget.
easier to budget. It's easier to
And,
have.
Fewer unknowns.
yeah, and the equipment will stay relatively modernized.
Updated software.
Well, in my opinion, when you start talking emergency services, you don't want to screw around with support or any of, you want something that's not going to fail the guys out in the field.
And this is exactly what I told the two concerned citizens.
And I guess this is what we're paid to do, but I think we should go the way we said we were going to go. I might be wrong, but
Yeah, and I brought it up only just to
We
bring the
did,
point out.
we did the homework. It's not an easy pill to swallow on my end either, but we did the homework and we think it's the way to go.
And I just wanted the answers out in public, to
How long-
satisfy.
How long did you research this? I mean, it was quite a long time.
We've been looking at this for a long time.
any more comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll, make the motion to approve the purchase of lease equipment for the sheriff's department.
I'll second it.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Terry to approve the lease equipment for sheriff's department. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I say aye. Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, guys.
Chris.
What they open up the cell doors and let you guys out? Really cool. Getting educated. They tried that. Oh, you're. But him and I had a difference.
G-off.
When I asked him if he wanted me back for another year.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's what everybody's name was. G-off. Come on in, G-off.
What do you say? So they let you run the boat?
I guess.
Was this the same one?
No, that's a different one.
I can leave then?
You can come in if you want.
Is it the same one?
This is up by you.
First one. We're on number 8 right now.
Yeah, I don't have anything new for 8.
Let's go to 9.
All right. So, Carl Langfeld
Yep.
came in.
Evidently.
And evidently I have failed or something because he's been in multiple times over the years. And then we have a contractor go out and look at it, and I take the petition and I put it with the claim, and I go about my day thinking it's done. Well, evidently none of the contractors have ever said, by the way, it's crap, it all needs to be replaced. So I've never gone any further. So I feel really bad for Carl because he's had a few bad years with this water, and it's never gone anywhere. So we have a petition signed for a possible improvement on it's 11, and then 12, 13, and 29 come off of that in DD 18. So what I'd like to do is approve the petition and assign an engineer to look at it. That's what I'd like to do.
I'll make that a motion.
Okay. And here's the petition if you guys want to stamp it.
It needs it.
I'll second it, I want to discuss it.
Yeah. Motion by myself, seconded by Terry to approve the improvement petition for DD 18, last 11, 12, 13, 29.
But I want to discuss
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Any discussion?
You can move it fairly fast for me. Okay, so you said that there's no repair to this?
There has been, but it's like, it's just all junk. It's just all junk. And so, and two of the contractors have been out there and they've looked at it, and then it's never gone anywhere. They just sent a bill and nothing was ever done. So I assumed it was fixed, and then it evidently wasn't. So,
We definitely did look at it. We need to have something to look at it.
so yeah, it comes off the ditch, and it's this whole one, and then over here. It's this side over here.
Western.
Yep. These people, I told Carl, because he doesn't own that if they have an issue, they need to come in with their own
So
petition.
it's a classification separate?
I'll have to look. I didn't look at that,
Because.
but that could be something we could do too.
Right, we should.
I'll look at that.
As in, will it affect these people?
Well, it shouldn't, because if they have their own tile system, their water goes to that side.
Right, but you know how some of these are, they're all built together sometimes.
Right, I'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
Yes, so I will have to look at it. But for right now, we just wanted to do the part that he has. I would rather have other landowners if they want that other side to come in. So he just basically wants an engineer to look at it all and then say, this is what we think we need to do. So,
Any other discussion? Well, we got to appoint an engineer, I guess. Yeah, that's what I just made the motion.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, so, I didn't know if we had to appoint the engineer first, say who was gonna be, so we just need to find them.
Yep.
Alright.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
in that, would we like to appoint Jacobson Westercard to
I
do
would
that?
prefer it. It'd be a good job.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if it should be in that.
Well, wasn't that, I think I included that,
No.
didn't I? Okay.
Well, we didn't specifically
Okay,
say.
all right, yeah, you're right. I'll make a motion to approve Jacobson Westergaard for the DD 18, improvement look at. All in favor, say aye.
I'll second.
Yeah, I'm so, rush, slow up. Yeah, I know it. Yep.
Aye.
Okay, yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right. I didn't want to wait for you to ask me to say aye. So. Rush. I don't know why I'm in a hurry. You're not, you're just going. Okay, pay estimate to run this.
That should be in Carlos folder.
This one?
Yes, please. And the bill is higher because of all the outlet pipes. Because the first bill is higher than the contract, but it's outlet pipes. So I do have, just in general, I guess, I have people going out to look at different projects as far as like Helgeson wants to maybe clean out some ditches or whatever. And I said, you have to get closer on these outlet pipes. We cannot double these projects for people. So
It's not fair to send out one number and then doubles.
exactly. So
Who were you saying this to?
Helgeson, Gary, because he has a couple different people that have contacted him for different ditches, and I said, you just have to get closer. And if it takes you a couple extra hours to go and check it out further,
Well, that really should be the farmer's responsibility to flag those outlets.
And that's true, but then I'm not telling them to go do that because.
And some of them are surface drains, it should be pretty obvious.
Right. So.
There's a lot of times these ditch cleaners have no clue where it goes. And
Right, and I get that.
Sometimes they're hidden pretty good too.
And I do get that. But if we can see some of them to know. Because he even said, well, the Larsons on that DD1, they did one outlet pipe in the bid for, say, $200. I don't remember what it was. Well, that's just one, but how many were there? So, in all fairness, we should try to get as close as we can.
Or, well, we had a farmer here, or put in the bid that every outlet is $200.
A lot of different size.
Right.
You just have to.
Average, probably average $200. So.
Because I think they did them.
You state that in your letter to the farmer, that every outlet is estimated at $200. Either you go flag them, or that's the estimate, and it could go over the bid, you know.
Right, yep.
But if they're rusted out, they don't know that till he cleans it.
Exactly.
He cleans it.
You're right.
So
just so they know that the price could be more.
You say it's an estimate that there's gonna be some pipe cost here too. Yeah.
But when the engineer was going down DE1 in a boat, a flat water boat being pulled by ATV, that's a great time to identify those.
Right, and so
It can be hidden.
right. Depends on how much dirt needs to be cleaned and whatever, yeah. So, but yeah, I like that idea in the letter, just to say, and the bid is $100 per outlet pipe. So the estimate will go up, depending on how many pipes.
Could go up.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather, as a property owner, you'd rather have them repaired than bent and left and
Missed,
and not working.
Right.
It's more money, but it's.
Okay. It's more money, but in theory, in the long run, it's supposed to help make more money.
Well, if he wants another land, you better get it farmable. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve pay estimate number 1 to the Brothers estimating for the
I'll second.
Motion by Gary, seconded by Bill, to approve the pay estimate number 1 to Ruggles Brothers Excavating for DD1 Flat 4. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, all the answers.
Okay. Anybody want to talk about anything? Open forum?
News, I don't know. Don't look at me, Mike. Why are you looking at me?
Don't you have an agenda? Don't you want to make some news?
You've had open forum questions.
Oh, I'll have news soon, but not right now.
People are reading KLW online.
They are.
I have had some questions from the state architect people, whatever, on our project here.
Yep.
I'll start.
Good. I wanted to make it that way so that you would have some work to do.
They called it an improvement, or an addition to the building. So, no addition to the building.
As long as you're here, what do you think about this courthouse? Should we keep pouring $400,000 a year into it, or?
You got people in the community that'll shoot you if you don't.
I know that.
You got people in the community that are going to shoot you if you do. So.
I know that.
That's what
I think realistically, it's probably going to be about $400,000 for a couple of years, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Then, once we get past
should have a
that,
period
it should
where-
be just maybe a budget item for maintenance. So we keep it up rather than let it go.
Like I've said many times, the time to build a new courthouse was before they put that addition on.
But we can't talk about that, I guess. Not that it's-
I went through Clarion the other day, pretty nice. It's fixed up.
Yeah. The old courthouse.
Yeah.
I would,
You're right, Mike, the people I've talked to is 50-50.
You can't, but you can't let it fall apart either. I mean, the damage is.
You know, I wish I didn't have a soft spot for historic, unique looking buildings, but I would have a hard time making a decision. Yeah, is it perfectly designed for today's world? No, but it is still pretty neat. I don't have many bell towers on the new buildings they built.
I think 20, 30 years ago, I think Hanson's offered Blitzen property.
Yeah.
And
That would have been the time.
yeah.
I don't know if we wanted to building.
No, but that location was
We could
good
have built
for
the
public.
new courthouse, jail, all in one right there or something like that.
But then we would be getting taxes and replacement, so.
Yeah, big investment on his part.
Mm-hmm. They may have built somewhere else and still got the taxes.
You know, they're the number one dealer, when they go in the country.
They are, is there any?
People like that, want to purchase ready for that.
Yeah. As long as
I
I
couldn't believe when I heard that.
Like he's at jobs.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
I didn't realize you was
You didn't have anything for open one? Okay.
Payroll.
I mean, legislative season.
That's it for the meeting. We're just gonna do payroll also.
I gotta come next.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I gotta come over next week. So
Oh, okay.
I was just comfortable sitting here. And I thought, what a better way to get an education. I mean,
Oh, from us?
well, I started at Grothy's this morning, so that tells you where you're living.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You get here and, you know, you really gotta strap yourself into the seat, because trying to keep up with our cranial cogitations and our illuminating discourse is just unbelievably loaded with pressure.
You know what you said? Do you remember what you just said?
I had to look up what it all meant, in 1981, when I was, that's the first words I ever heard out of a college professor's mouth.
Okay.
Jolene Friday, who still teaches over here. That's what she said at the beginning of the class, is that the objective of this class is for you to absorb the cranial cogitations of my illuminating discourse. And I sit there thinking to myself, I should have entered the military.
That sounds like fake news to me.
Yeah. Well, have a good day.
You do? Hey, Chief, you wanna be in the compensation board for us, the supervisors?
We would love to have you.
It's a thankless job, but it needs to be done.
It's only 2 hours a year,
About,
unless you're gonna do your research ahead of time.
When are you meeting?
December 19th, 9 o'clock. Tentatively.
Perfect.
It's easy.
I'll
So
make a, so we're on
we
number,
will go back to, number 5.
I'll make a motion, you live in Winnebago County, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so what's going to concur? I'll make a motion to appoint, Jay, I don't even want to say your last name.
Ellingson.
Ellingson. Huh?
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah, no, AJT.
That's your first name I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Right, you don't want to say the first name, exactly.
AJ Taylor
Thank
as
you.
the supervisor's other.
I didn't know your last name, I just knew you was AJ.
That's what you should
How
say.
long is the term good?
Thank you, Mike.
Who's AJ Ellingson? There is an AJ Ellingson.
CIMT.
KIMT, that's what it is. Yeah, see, I knew it was in the
So-
media.
That's why I get your damn lawyer, like, who you calling?
Yeah. All right.
January,
And I knew
So
your
he would
last name was
fill
Taylor
Harley's
too.
term
And
for
it still popped in my
this
head.
time, and
This
then,
year.
then it would be 4 years.
So we're.
I'll second that.
So are we appointing them at the end of this year and then reappointing them the first year?
I would think,
Yeah, I suppose.
well, either way,
Yeah, I think that'd be the best way, then
That's what we'll do.
you can decide whether you want to re-up the first of the year.
That shouldn't be a problem. 9 o'clock Wednesday, 19th December.
Yeah. They're still waiting to hear back from the rest of the board members, which sometimes can be complicated.
Where are we meeting?
right here.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got appointed.
Thank you for your support.
Oh, you'll love me.
You won't hear a beep out of it.
And going back to open forum, the overwhelming comments we're getting on our discussion boards are from a comment that was made by Carla that we used as a quote both on air and on the website, where it makes more sense to continually have something as a maintenance of the courthouse. People are very much a majority of that, in favor of that, doing it that way than they are you guys. Of another comment made by someone else where, oh, let's just wait another 20 years and do something about it.
Obviously, there comes a time when it will have to change. I mean, things don't last forever. But the trick is to find out where that point is.
I would hope between now and that time, there'd be new products that replace the existing available products. We don't have to do this all the time. Or epoxy type products that will hold better.
I was surprised to find out that the mortar nowadays isn't as good as the mortar back years ago. I would have thought that they, there's stuff like when you're doing ceramic tile in shower, there's things you can mix into the grout.
I use
silicone
epoxy there all the time.
Yeah. And it makes it it's basically indestructible in a sense.
It's expensive, but easy to work with.
And I would have thought that there'd be something like that for this kind of an application where it would really seal.
There again, when you get moisture behind the block, pushing it out, it's a little different than tile.
Yeah, no, but if you use that, it won't get in behind the block, in a sense.
So the roof is good.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not spraying it with a waterproof coating or anything like that outside at all.
I don't know, do they?
We looked into it this last time on the new part. I think we sealed it. We didn't properly seal the last time, so that was the first part of that project for the whole building. I think they do a sealer on some of it, didn't get it or something.
Honestly, I don't know.
I think they did. I know it was part of the project, but look at it. I'm not sure if they did.
On the sheriff's IT situation, what's the cost on that total?
$185.
$185,000.
Over
I can give you the exact figures here.
35.
35,000.
No, it's almost 200,000 because you have 2 bullets.
It is.
You have to add the first page to the total at the bottom of the last page. 18,000 plus 187,000.
187, 320.
Plus 18.
Plus 18, because there's a separate quote. The first page on there is a separate quote that's totaled separately.
40,000.
That's not the way I read the papers I got.
What page number is on your second
I
page?
assumed that it was a grand total of
So
$187,034.
I'm going by, it says a grand total right here of
So you agree with
$187,320.
This
18,000 plus
This is one quote
187,000.
for 18,000. That's the grand total. It says grand total. And then on the last page, it has another grand total for the last 4 pages, front and back, however you have it printed. The first one is a single page.
Well, that's more confusing.
Does this number transfer into any part of this?
No. They're just
Doesn't look like
separate
it.
quotes.
So you're breaking this $206,000 down over 5 years, or $41,500 again.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me.
He's on city council.
Somewhere in that.
Nice guy. Started off.
Breaking it up makes
Does a
complete
good
sense.
job. To me, learning a lot.
I've heard good things of him, but somebody asked me
I would-
what his name was the other day.
And
It
then
took money away over the last 2 or 3 years to start doing it and do it and
yeah, he
pay
goes out.
take out them all and
And
do
do
it
an
all.
hour out. Yeah, hours here.
My personal plans.
Last time she had.
So are they willing to break that down over a 5-year period?
With him.
Or
And then he
other words, they're asking for $206,034, are they willing to say, okay, we'll take $41,500?
That's what they're gonna do. That's what this company's doing.
Oh, okay. So this is just a grand total for 5 year project.
Yes, and then it's a $35,000 a year payment. It's something like that. Divided by 5.
Mike Larson's daughter.
Well, 5 at 206 and 5 is not gonna come up to $35,000. You're gonna come up with 41,000 and some change.
Well, I think you mentioned a down payment. They apparently don't have the specifics of that yet. Somehow they have to pay this total over 5 years.
So it's safe to say they get a 5 year plan. And 206 to 41.
Don't quote me on that.
I'm not quoting you.
That step money that I talked about, that'll be part of the down payment, and that'll be just the extra payment each year, that step money. And that's when the officers work overtime for like, I think it's like seatbelt reinforcement and different things like that, but they work overtime and then it earns the department money towards equipment like this.
Got it.
But if you want to know more about that program, you should contact Mike Dressler, the sheriff's office. He'd be able to tell you more.
Mike Kessler.
Dressler.
Dressler.
Yep.
Because with the few people who watch YouTube, I'm sure there's a question going, how much?
Yeah, and Mike also did the majority of the research on his products and finding the best price and all sorts of stuff, so.
Okay. I will double check on that then. Not a problem.
She would be Scott's, her dad would be Scott's first cousin.
So curiosity killing the cat, Mike. Why did you have the director of the nursing department check for who would be on the board?
Because they have to work with them. They're closely.
But it's again like a contradiction hiring your own boss.
No, she's just gonna,
She's only one of 5 board members.
all we can do is hope that one of them will take it. I don't think we're gonna get there's not a lot of choices there. Yeah, we just don't have a lot of doctors around.
Really? With that hospital across the street? What are you talking about?
The ghosts, we have plenty of ghost doctors.
You forget they have to take the Hippocratic Oath. Arms.
Have they, done that thing across the street?
Nope.
So have they haven't sent anybody in there yet at all? Is that asbestos laden, mold filled contaminant? Okay.
Well, both of those you have to disturb them before they're a threat. But, no, the ghosts are always a threat. The mold in the asbestos is the only way you can issue. Yeah, not for the most part.
So what's going to happen when these guys develop emphysema?
We're blaming on secondhand smoke.
Well, it's okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Secondhand smoke sounds just about right.
The whole school in Thompson Hill part, the school still had it. That whole basement and up to it was just loaded with black mold all over the walls down there. And me and one of the other janitors went through there with our backpack sprayers with 50% bleach, 50% water, and just went through there and got rid of it all. Now, we weren't breathing masks, but that was basically for I had my painting mask on for the fumes of the bleach more than but I was down in there many times doing stuff. didn't bother me for whatever reason.
And I went to somebody that owns the building now, and goes through there all the time, it hasn't been affected so far.
No, you can't tell. We can't.
Right?
Yeah.
How's that Twitch working out for you there? So are these individuals, are they trying to find dead patients? Or the people we used to execute over there?
Did you hear when they discussed it?
No.
Well, there's already been
taking
ghost
a day
stories
off
about
that
it.
day.
But you would only know as much as we do.
Really?
There's already been ghost stories, you know, from the building in a sense.
From the office.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, that's the
Excuse me.
Clean up on aisle 2.
Yeah.
I started hearing those 5 years ago.
What, doors opening and closing?
Yeah, you good.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second.
Motion by Terry, second by Bill to approve the payroll claims. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Motion carried. It's,